So you will come here, you will select free account, okay? And then $100 a month developer plan and all that. So just click free. And then my role is put down student for now, okay? And then websites, learning and certification. And then go ahead and log into the console. Okay. So I'm logged in. Okay. 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 And then make sure when you very first log in for the very first time on the top left here, make sure you have this set as US East North Virginia. Okay, I will tell you why. Okay, I will tell you why later. And, set that as a default. Anybody ever logged in to AWS before?
No, I didn't.
I did. I did.
Oh, somebody. Okay, so this is not. This is for some of you. So make sure. I like North Virginia region here. So make sure you have that highlighted. Okay, and let's dive in here. So what this is this is basically the entire infrastructure. So we have companies, they have all the data center and everything and all the services and everything. But if you look at all these things here, all this is controlled by AWS. All these things has evolved ever since the technology is there. But what AWS is doing is, grab all this and then put it in their control. And as the end user or as a company, you don't have to worry about maintaining this on site. Okay, there is a lot of things. There are a lot of things that you have to maintain, hire people. All those things are gone. All these things are going into AWS. Okay, so I think sooner or later, everybody is depending on AWS. Okay, that's how big they are. So to me, it's nice and good, but honestly, I don't like one person or one entity controlling everything. But as of this moment, there is no choice. A big company like Apple, they are using AWS also. Definitely.
The other companies like Google, Azure, even IBM, they are not quite yet there, but they are going to the same direction, and they will create competition to AWS. Isn't true?
They are, but at this moment, if Amazon want, they could crush them because Amazon, all this, Amazon realized all this started back in like 2003 or something. IBM is the one who came up with the concept, but they are very behind on all this here. But see, look at this here. AWS is giving 1 year free and 750 hours. That is a lot. There's a lot of free stuff. So if you go try to sign up for Azure or Google Cloud, they are not able to provide as much. So what most companies are doing is, in my opinion, if they want to try to open this, try to like launch it. See, I already launched my infrastructure in no time. I already signed up, and all these are available at my disposal. If I want to create a computer, it's called EC2. If I want to create a computer, I don't even have to buy the computer. You know what I mean? It's right there and it's giving you free for 1 year, providing for 1 year. So what most startups are doing is, okay, let's at least try it out in AWS and see what happens. Okay. Once they started making in AWS, 6 months down the line, they started, and it's going to be very hard for them to get off from AWS. Okay. Once once you're hooked to them, that's it, you're into it. And then they will start charging you good money. They will charge per hour, how per size, and all those things are going to be, per utilization. That's how they're charging it. So our focus will be just concentrated on a very little thing here, like EC2, okay, and then little bit of IAM, little bit of S3, okay, a Glacier. I'll explain what that is, and then all these things, all these are database and everything. I have no idea how those things work. These are real databases that are actually If you're a database admin, you would go in here and actually work in there. Okay, what else is here is like, look at this, all this machine learning and everything here. I mean, this is good here. If you are already into IT and then you want to try to start a business and then you would need some kind of infrastructure, there you go. You just go in there and then you have like a free access to all this for a good year. But you got to be careful when they say free, read the documentation and really realize what is free here. But most of the things that are you're going to be using immediately are free. Okay, so let's move on. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's see here. So right now it says launch a virtual machine. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here. Okay, so this is called a management, AWS management console. Once you started learning what AWS is doing is all these things here are renaming those all those technologies that are out there, right? So for example, EC2. EC2 is nothing but a virtual machine, a computer. Now what they're doing is they're using their own term. It's called Elastic Cloud Compute, EC2. So what I think they are actually doing is they're playing with this with your psychology. So when somebody came up to say I need a EC2, that means you are automatically thinking about AWS. Okay, and then S3, that means storage, right? Normally we talk about storage, it would be EMC or something. We use the generic term storage, but somebody will come up to and say I need EC3, S3, and what you're saying is automatically thinking of AWS. And then also you have IAM, all these things, you're automatically referring AWS. Give me 1 second, somebody is pinging me. So let's create a launch VM. It's called EC2. EC2. Okay, what is EC2? Elastic Cloud Compute. Okay. So let's see how that happens here. So what you do is Do I need all these steps here to document, or you guys okay? The recording should help, right?
Yeah, the recording should help. It'll be fine.
Okay. All right.
No,
So,
Aman, if you could put down the slides, that will be great. Aman, in recording, sometimes it's hard to catch.
okay, yeah, good. So from okay, so you go into Amazon Management Console, and then you expand all services. Then click on EC2. Okay, so I'm going to click on EC2. So once you are going to be on EC2 dashboard. Okay, and then from there you have all these options here. Right now, what we are interested is in launch instance. Okay, it says instance here. But what does instance means?
Installation?
No, instance means, so this is what it is. I told you earlier that Amazon is playing with our psychology, and they are renaming things you think is something else, but it is something else in Amazon. So this is what's happening. Somebody is coming to me and I need one instance. I'm automatically thinking they need a two instance. And what instance is a operating system in AWS, and it could be uh, instance is an operating system in AWS, and it could be um, okay, it could be a Linux box, Linux OS, or Windows OS. Okay, so let's see here. So now it says launch instance. So let's go ahead and click launch. And then now you have all these things here. You are presented with the numerous operating system here. So there is a Linux, that Amazon is building on its own, and then there is a Red Hat, there is SUSE, and Ubuntu is there. Okay, and then there is a Windows 2, Amazon Linux. This is limitless. If it doesn't say free, that means it will start charging you right away. Okay, so you got to be careful how you are going to install this. You could see this is what Amazon is presenting. It's called Amazon Machine Image. Okay, and then you could create your own later on once you progress through the class. And then there is also Amazon Marketplace. There are some companies who are selling predefined instances that already has some level of software installed here. So let's see here. Okay, this is by category here. If somebody wants to do a big data, they already have some operating, like an operating system at the same time. See right here, it says a TIPCO Jasper reporting analysis. So it will have all those things installed on your system. TIPCO is installed on top of the operating system, whatever you select. And look at its pricing here. It says per use. If you're using per hour, it's only 62 cents. But if you end up using for a whole year, it's $4,000 here. So this is dead cheap, right? If somebody want to start this and they don't have much money, but they could afford 62 cents per hour. So there is nothing. SAP HANA. Oh, look at this. They're actually giving $0 for software AWS usage fees. Okay. So AWS usage fees, you got to be very, very careful. A lot of things, if somebody's coming up to ask this, oh, let me have this, but what's actually happening is there is another position that opened up. That is AWS position inside a finance department, and they are concentrating on AWS expenses. So you kind of have to get some approval from that person that, hey, this is a requirement and is this approved or not, okay? Okay, and then community AMIs. So there are also community AMIs, like there are people out there who are just giving it for free. But all these things are free, but you may end up paying AWS services. If you're running on the AWS site, then you may end up paying for that. So for now, we're not worried about that. So what we're going to do is, today I'm going to show you how to launch a Red Hat box and a Windows box, okay? So it says is Linux. No, we are familiar with Red Hat, right? So let's deal with it. Uh-oh. It's giving us 8, Red Hat 8. Red Hat 8 is like not even 2 months old. Let's see if we could... Okay, so I'm going to select Red Hat 8 here. Okay, free tier. Amazon. I'm going to select this. So we're going to launch. Okay, guys, you know, when you come back in here, you may not see exactly what you're seeing on here. They are changing it so much. It gets changed a lot. I saw it here about 2 months ago. It was 7 was there. Now the 7 is gone altogether. Okay. So now what you have is you have to select either x86 or ARM. I prefer x86. Okay, and then I'm going to click select. Okay, and then why are you using this? It's going to tell you. So I'm going to stick with the free tier. Okay, and it's giving you 1 CPU, and then 1 gigabyte of memory it's giving you, and then the storage size is EBS only, low to moderate, and then IPv6 is there. I'm going to stick with the free tier, review and launch. Okay, so before that, so you select this. So click configure instant details. Okay. So right here, click configure instant details. Okay. So at the moment you could have, you're installing, you're creating one instance. If you want, you could have 1,000. You better be careful how much number you type in here, okay? Because it will start charging. And then it says VPC, we're gonna come to that. And then it says subnet. So subnet, what you want to do is you want to select US East 1E. So why do we have US East 1E? Because up here we selected Northern Virginia, okay? So I will go over that in a little bit. And then auto assign IP, leave it public. So either you leave it public or you select enable. So automatically it's enabled here. So you don't have to do much. Okay. And then you could put in the groups also, IAM. You're not using any IAM at this moment. Okay. Shutdown behavior. When you shut it down, it's going to stop. Okay. And then enable termination protection. Okay. You could do that. If somebody accidentally deletes it and checked on, it's not gonna delete it. But if this is not checked on and if you accidentally delete it, then you are dead in water. It's all gone. And then you could have this monitoring here. This is done by the monitoring people. Okay, so down here, so keep everything default here so far. So the only thing we changed is all this is default, but we changed this part. Okay, and everything else is same. So okay, and before we continue on, in the advanced details, or so it says add a device here. So let's see what it is. Okay, so if you want, if you're running like a Oracle database, you could have like two EC2s, I mean, two network devices. And can somebody tell me what can we do with two network devices?
We can bridge.
What can we do?
Bridge.
Okay, yeah, but what is the term we used here?
The term, but I forgot.
Okay, anybody else? And what is the next one?
Bonding.
Yeah, bonding. Okay, that's why you have more than one NIC card if you wanted to. Okay, down here, I'm going to put a script in here. Okay, so this script will run when the system is going to come up. Okay, so what is this? What is this?
Shebang.
Yeah, very good. So what I'm going to do is a script sudo yum update -y sudo yum install -y httpd. Okay, sudo service httpd start sudo chkconfig httpd on. Okay, all these commands are not new. Okay, we worked on that. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is when the system starts up, I'm gonna have a web page launch. That way we're gonna have some kind of so this is what I'm doing here. I'm gonna start the service HTTPD and all that. Okay, this is what I'm doing here. I'm running the Apache. I'm turning the Apache server on. Okay, so all right, good. Okay, so in the section. Section, you have the script in there. Okay, and I click next. It says add storage. Okay, so one storage is already coming in with, it's free. The free can get up to 30 of EBS storage or magnetic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add new and then add 10. So SDA, this is SDB. Okay, you all remember this, right, from our LVM class. Okay, and then I'm going to add three storage, 3 extra devices. You could run LVM and all that. Okay. All right, good. Okay, so click tags, and then you could put it as a tag here. So I could tag it as a new development. Okay, and then I click configure security groups. Okay, so configure security groups. What is security group? It's firewall. Okay, so see right here, there is another example here how Amazon is changing what we used to think as a firewall. Now they're calling it as a security group, SG. So if somebody is coming up to ask, I need to do changes to SG, then is you're thinking of an Amazon firewall. You're thinking of a firewall inside the Amazon. Okay, and then click next. So what you have to do is you have SSH, and then it's going to be TCP/IP, and then we are allowing it from the entire world. So we are allowing it from anywhere in the world to SSH. Okay. And then we could do or add this, and then I'm going to add HTTP, and then anywhere in the world you should be able to do port 80 HTTP. So let's see here. So if you put this down here, 0.0.0.0, it's telling you you could connect from anywhere in the world.
So basically, behind the scenes, everybody, it is going to create a firewall rule whitelisting the IPs. If you put any IP, then it will let you connect only through that IP, right?
Yep. And then later on, we could create. Oh no. For now, select the existing security group. So this is a default here. All the accounts has some security groups by default here. So good thing I realized this here. Okay.
You can say copy, keep it as a default, and then change that. Copy to new and then change. Right.
Yeah, but I plan on showing that as a different one in class. Okay, and then I select this security group here, and the inbound traffic is all inbound traffic. Okay, so we have to go make the changes for the security group in another place. So for now, go ahead and
So that's what I was saying. So if we copy the same group and rename to a different one, and we can change that one also.
let's do that here. So I could give a security group name ZMPT SG. Okay. All right. Okay, then this is what I have it set here. So I'm going to do a screen capture. Okay, good. And then you could click on add rule and you could add the rule. This is there, and anywhere in the world is there, anywhere in the world. Okay. Okay, now we all set here. Now we're gonna do review and launch. Okay, so you guys could see my entire screen right on the bottom. Review and launch is all the way in the bottom. Okay, yeah. Okay, so click review and improve your instance security is open to the world. Okay, yeah, that's what we want. And your instance configuration not allowed. What the? Okay. So I think we're gonna have to delete some storage. See, this is where they're gonna start upselling you and then start charging you. Okay. So you got to be careful here. I'm gonna just delete it and see what happens.
I think if we click the configure instance, we might have selected something.
No, I think it's coming up to storage. Yeah, see, the moment I delete storage, it's not giving that a message anymore.
Okay.
So you could see, okay, let's make this as 30 GB. Okay, so So edit storage, let me make it 30 GB and see what happens. Because what's happening here is essentially you're adding like another drive in here, so it's more work for Amazon. Adding one drive, you could understand, right? Adding one drive is different than adding 3 drives. It's more work. Let me actually go back. Edit storage. Okay, so let me go next, configure, next. Okay, eligible for free tier. Free tier. Okay, let's see here. So, oh, okay. Storage, you get request. So what we're doing is EBS. EBS. Okay. Now this is another example here. EBS, elastic storage. Okay. So what is EBS? EBS, you could relate that to a hard drive. So this is another example of how Amazon is changing, what is already have been established. They're renaming it as a EBS. That means this is a hard drive. This is actually a hard drive you're adding, but they're calling it EBS. Okay, so 30 GB byte of Amazon EBS, any combination, general purpose. So we are using 30 GB. So what 30 GB is, 30 GB is also in combination of, we already used it, right? So let's see, this is 10, and the most we could have is another 20. So let's see if that is going to work. Okay, so we're not getting error here, so we're going to launch it. So the important thing is, all this is like nice and free here, but they will get you if you don't read and understand the documents here. It says a 30 GB free, but 30 GB is including what you're already getting. Okay, instant details, storage. Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click launch. Okay. Review on launch. And then you will be presented with the key pair here. So create a new key pair. And then I'm going to give it a name ZMPT. Red Hat key. Okay. All right, can somebody tell me what is happening here? What is this?
Passwordless SSH.
Yep, exactly. This is a SSH key. So review and launch. Okay, so you got to be careful here. You got to save this SSH key. It's going to give you only one time option here. If you lose this key, then you're dead in water. And then you have to call Amazon and they will start charging you. They will start charging you arm and a leg. So this is where they're going to start making money. It says that you have to download the private key file, PEM file, before you can continue. Store in a secure and accessible location. You will not be able to download the file again after it's created. Okay, so you have to be very careful what you're going to do here. So let me just refresh what I'm referring to SSH. Okay. So we created this, right? When we're doing this, it's going to run this command SSH keygen, and it's going to run all this here, and then it's an alphanumeric key here. I thought I put in did I put in like a example of the key?
Can we name the keys any name, or it has to be ID?
Any name, you could do with any name.
The public key will be copied into authentication list on the server, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're just tagging it. It's not like an actual key name. Okay, so what is SSH key is? This is what it looks like. This is an alphanumeric long key here. I mean, it's going to be very hard for somebody to decode it. Here, okay. I'm going to put it here. About giving the key pair name.
No, when the key will be generated by default, these keys will be generated like id.sa and id.sa.pub. So one will be private key, one will be public. And if we,
It's
yeah,
what it's going to give us is it's going to give us a PEM extension. Okay, there are no results here. About it, the extension is generally speaking, that's what the extension is, and I think I had it. Okay, here .pub, right? RSA.public key and then private key.
you see that ID and the file name is ID underscore RSA, right?
Yeah, this is private and the .pub is public.
Yeah. So
We will go ahead.
my question is that do we have to have a name ID? And you can say Zafar underscore RSA or Amir underscore RSA.
No, right here, what it's doing here is just giving you the name. You could name that key. You could name that key. Let's take a look here. We're going to carry it and then see what it's going to look like. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to launch.
Download the file for why.
Yeah, I'll download the file here. So, okay, it's going to tell me to download it. It says open with or save file. Make sure you save it. Okay, and do this automatically. So I'm going to copy this download file here. So this is where the download, it's a .pem. Okay. .pem key. Make sure you put it in a secure environment here. Let me see. Open with. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is even bigger. Look at this, the size. Okay, let me just copy this here.
I think private key also have the portion of the public key as well. So it's always bigger than public.
Yeah. This is huge. End of private key. Private key, it's not giving you a public key. Okay, so what we did, it was we did
As a we don't need public key. Public key, they're going to keep with them and they're going to copy to the server which we're creating basically. That's how we will be.
okay, good. That's good to know. Okay, so we are there. So we have downloaded. And now we're gonna launch it, okay? Your instance is now launching. So what you could do is you could go and take a look here. It's pending and it's putting this into the US East 1E. So let's see what is okay. So these are all the Amazon global infrastructure, and they have all these data centers running all over the world here. Okay, there is one here, there is one in Middle East, or now all these here. But we have the one we selected is can I? Okay. Okay, so we selected zone 3. Okay, we selected Northern Virginia, right? So let's see here, Northern Virginia, Ohio, and okay. So what we have so far here is we are in the region Northern Virginia, right? So Northern Virginia and the region is it has availability zones here. So we'll see how many availability zones Northern Virginia has. So there is one region, and in each region, for example, it has 3 availability zones. So that means these are 3 different data centers. These are huge data centers. So availability zone means data centers. Okay, so let's see here. I thought I found one good. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think I have on my phone. Okay, so these are the zones here. So look at this here. Northern Virginia has six availability zones. That means it has it has six huge data centers. The size of each data center is 2 or 3 times the size of a football field. So if something has to crash, if out of six, 3 data centers fail, nothing will happen. The customers won't feel anything. So this is what it is. So you have to choose which data center you want to put in here. The reason is, if you have your customer mainly in the East Coast of United States, what it's going to do is going to give you the good availability of your data. And also Amazon will charge you on based on how the data is being accessed. If the data is being accessed like from far away, if you are in East Coast, then your customers are somewhere in the Middle East. What's going to happen is they are accessing the data from East Coast to Middle East. So it's a distance, right? What happen is if there is a huge geographical distance, then it's an extra charge. And then they have to follow all the local laws and everything how this is being accessed here. So then again, when we are working in AWS, you have to be careful how your infrastructure is set up. You have to read the documentation a lot, and then the documentation, to me, it's changing way. Okay, good. So we are here so far. So our Linux box should be ready. Okay, so you see it here that we have our Linux host is ready here. And then this is like a detailed information here. It's giving you the public IP. This is the real public IP here. So if I copy this and put it in a web browser, we should have our Apache running. There you go. This is kind of confirmation that the Linux box we just created is working. Why? Because I ran these commands here, right? I made sure I did the update and HTTP on, and then I made sure this is on. Connecting, being accessed from anywhere in the world here. Can somebody type this IP and see if it's working? I'm going to put it in the chat. So what I'm going to do to the Linux box.
It's working with the.
It's working? Okay, great. All right. So I'm going to use PuTTY to connect to that box. Okay, so how are you going to connect? You select this and click on connect box. I'm going to give you the instructions here. Okay. So EC2 instance connect, web browser based, and standalone SSH connection here. Okay. So it's telling you open SSH client and then find how to connect PuTTY. Or what you could do is you connect using one of the local machines here. So let me start up one local machine here. So I'm going to one of the 7 boxes because 7 is going to come up sooner.
So I'm connected through Pate. It's asking user ID and password.
What do? You put in the IP address in here?
Yeah. So 100.25.134.123 log in as. It will ask you to accept the key basically.
Yeah. If you want to do it directly, you could use connect using PuTTY instructions here. I found this kind of difficult to do it. So what I normally do is I just put it in these boxes here. So I connect.
For example, we had created the SS keys. If we had copied our private key into the right for SS folder, then should have not asked you the login.
That's what I'm doing. This one has issue. I think I need to restart. Okay. Oh. What I'm gonna have to do is use a different 10.0.3.15. I think I moved in a new place. That's why it's doing this. But here I will show here. So let me launch WinSCP. WinSCP, where is that? So I know what the problem is.
Those firewall is blocking it.
Yeah, no, actually I have to redo the network because I moved and then I'm not using the router here. So what you have to do is you have to go up into tools and then preferences and then network. And host network operations manager. Okay, and network adapters. This is VMware here and Cisco. Okay, so let me add a new one here then. When I create one, this should create new one here. Create. Okay, it's working now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna putty it in. .94. Okay, so I'm in now. What I'm gonna do is WinSCP 192.168.94.3. So I'm okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy my key. I'm gonna throw that key in there. So you have this key, you could like drag and drop it in there. It's using a WinSCP, so it's there. Now, if I do ls, the key is there, okay? So now we have to continue on following the process here. So good practice is
Can we mention a full path where the copies need to be copied, where this key need to be copied?
It could be any path, anywhere. Let's do /root. You all have WinSCP installed on your computer, right? I think in the downloads I have this installed. Install WinSCP. So how are you going to do install WinSCP? I have a link here.
We'll install that.
Course downloads, and use the one I have it here because I think I tested this one. So run this here, and then it will if you already have all this here, don't worry about it. If WinSCP, it will install it for you. So all you have to do is launch WinSCP, and it will ask you for the username and password. So when you launch WinSCP for the first time, just put in the IP address, username and password, okay? So we have this here. So what I'm going to do is, so how do you do this? You select this and click on connect on the top. Okay, click on connect on the top, and then you will get this option. So let me copy this screen. So you have to copy it, and then you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this. Okay, so we already copied using SSH. Okay, good. So you do ls-l. You have this SCP PEM key here, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the permissions. chmod 400, and then so the permissions have changed now. Okay, and this is the name of the host here. Either you could type this in here, or you could just type in the IP address. Okay, and then the command to do this is, and then the username is EC2. Okay, can somebody tell me when I run this, what's going to happen? Is it going to ask for the password?
No, since you mentioned the PAM file.
Yep, exactly. This is actually doing the passwordless SSH. Yes. There you go. We are inside the Amazon EC2. Okay, so this is the local IP, and
If we had not used this name of the key, like PM something, then we didn't need to use this option I, taken default ID.
-I, the instructions they have here.
I is after that we give the key name, right?
So it's ignoring the, how you have typed in there.
And if we keep the default names, then the default names are automatically taken. Then we don't need to.
Okay, so what is happening here is right now we have successfully installed and connected using the local box to the EC2. And then this is where you do the regular troubleshooting. Okay. just like any other box we had here. You could do host name, you could do dffnh, you do clear. I mean, this is your live Linux box here. You could do all the commands here. And then there is one extra disk here. So look at this here. It will say XVDB. Okay. So instead of SDB, it has changed to XVB. So I don't know what XVDB stands for, but I think this is virtual. It's telling you this is a virtual. It's inside the Amazon. And then you could do your regular fdisk command. Okay, what you got to do? Sudo su hyphen. That means you're switching to root. So you are logged in as root here, and then you do fdisk. Okay, and then you do new, and then you're going to create primary. Partition 1 is default, and then we're going to do the entire sector, and then everything we're going to use here. Okay, and then we're going to write and quit. Okay, then we're going to do part X. Part X slash dev X XVDB. Slash dev slash. And then we're going to do part probe. So we have that XVD, and then we could mount slash dev slash XVDB. Okay, yeah, XVDB1. Mount slash, can we do this? MNT. Is it different? I'm forgetting all this. So what we have to do is we have to do MKFS. I have forgotten all this already. Okay, so that was just a demo that this is just another Linux box that we've been playing around so far. So what you could do is, this is what all this information is to administer this. This is what you're going to do using AWS. So when you go in there, you're going to see hundreds of AWS boxes in here. Okay, so once you get the ticket that something is wrong, you work on it and then resolve the issue. Okay. All right. I'm going to end here. Any?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So Zafar bhai, you use the PAM file, which is the private file. I mean, what if I want to use this file for you as an admin? What if as a user I want to log into that box?
You create the file in here again. You create the file using, if you want to set this up as a passwordless, right?
Yeah, right. So are we running the same SSH keychain?
What was the question?
Yeah, the one you're getting it for is for the admin, but what you could do is you could also create one and give it to other users.
Actually, the answer to Amar's question is that the permissions, whether it's your administrator or user, is defined by your user profile. These keys will let you into the system. It will not do anything with what you can do. That will profile what your profile is, who you are.
Yeah. So this profile is for the username EC2. It's automatically creating an EC2 user. And this user has a sudo access. And then what you could do is you could create another user in here and then create a SSH key user and then provide that key to that user, and then they should be able to connect as a regular user.
All right, got it, Zafar bhai.
Okay. So as I said before, we started here, a vast ocean, and there are unlimited things in here. They keep adding new services in here, like code and all this, VCP, all in here. So what else? What I do is I just usually shut it because I don't want to be charged here. I just do init 0, and it should shut it down. Here, it should say, after a little moment, it should say it's being shut down. To refresh, it says stopping. You could definitely do the same thing here, launch instance, and then what you could do is you could go and select free tier eligible Windows. Windows Server 2019. So you go in here, select this. Okay, I'm going to keep this. And then all these things should be the same. Okay, this thing I'm going to change it to, okay, here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are all the 6 availability zones. These are all different data centers here. So all these things, you put it in one data center, but all these are replicated in all the other data centers. But this is the primary one that you should be able to connect. And in here, text file here, so I'm going to add tag. I'm going to say Windows box. Okay, for this one, I'm going to keep the existing one. Select the existing default here. Okay, review. It didn't give me any error message, so I'm going to launch. Okay, now this is also going to be a create a new key pair, and then ZMPT Win key. This is Red Hat. That was Red Hat key, and this is Win key. WIN. Okay, I'm gonna download this, and then I'm gonna save it. So let me just verify it has downloaded. Okay, it downloaded, so I'm gonna launch it. Recommend anybody in the class go ahead and create this AWS account today so that you could get going on it. Windows might take longer, I think.
Already start. Zafar bhai says running.
Yeah, but start as initializing. So let's see how you're going to connect to Windows. Okay, so you could do is you could launch this Windows Remote Desktop, and then this is the computer name, and then username is administrator. Okay, and connect to EC2 console, connect to your instance, choose get password try. It will take few minutes after the instance is launched. Okay, so we got to see if the instance is launched or not. It says initializing. It still says initializing. Choose browse and navigate to private key file. Okay, so connect to your instant or choose get password. Okay, we have this choose browse. Anybody idea? Display connection. Okay, file open. And then I'm going to put in the file name, the location. Use connect to the instant dialog password. Okay, so status is running. Apparently, it has a different file also. I didn't know that. Okay, I just downloaded this file here and then it's telling me to connect because I think it has built-in key pair path. Now I got to select this. So when, okay, decrypt password. Oh, look at that. Now it's actually giving you the password. You could see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in here, put that in there, and then collect, it should give me the password pop-up. Does this matter? It has to be uppercase? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the IP address here, the public IP address. I'm going to put that in here, and then I'm going to give administrator. Oh, it's not working. So, okay. Now, what is happening here? You have to go into the firewall and you go into security group. You have to select on in, everybody is still with me, right?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to do inbound traffic, add rule, and then you have to select RDP in here. Right there, RDP. Okay. You're going to say custom anywhere in the world, and then let's see if it's going to work. All right. So I have,
RDP is relation database something or
no, RDP is remote desktop connection.
okay, okay.
Not pinging yet. Okay, and we need to save it. It's saved, right?
Do you have to restart the computer? I mean the instance.
Necessarily, but edit. Okay, let's take a look at the instances. Instant is running. There you go. It's asking you the password now. So you have to more choices here and then use different. And go back in here, get password, decrypt, and get the password here. Look at that password, is huge. Okay, I'm gonna paste the password in here and remember me. And I'm gonna put in the DNS name here. This is the DNS name. Let's try the IP address here and see if it's gonna work here. Let me see. There you go, I'm in. So right now, if I just started my own company, I registered it, started it. I need a computer. You could go into the Amazon and start building your own infrastructure. At least you will get one EC2 free. Okay, and this is nothing like any other computer here because this is running operating system. This is running Red Hat and this is running Windows here. Okay. All right, guys, I think I went over 15 minutes, so I would highly recommend start going in there. And then there is one thing here called AWS white pages. Any changes, anything that is coming in, anything how you want to do it and all that, white pages. Hard to read. Products, documentation. And they have everything and anything in here, how to do all the documentation and everything. But if you're patient enough how to use this, you could read through it and get some knowledge how these things work. User guide to Linux instances. And it's telling get up and running. So it's giving you minute details here how to create this, create an IAM user and all this here. But sometimes reading through this and at the same time takes a lot of patience. Okay. So if nobody has anything, then we'll continue on tomorrow with AWS. And then please do use that chat group we have here, because I don't see anymore and I don't see anybody using it as much. But I highly recommend start using it, and then we should start working on your resumes here either this week